Woke up this little moon and my diamonds came in from Elliot. Pearls on that fucking bitch's neck, she so elegant. Shop about the fucking mall, so much made me a resident. This Maybach got 4 windows tinted, only feel like the president. How I'm coming, I'm just
Hello guys, welcome back to the Crooked Hour. Today we're going to be breaking down a fight, the feature bout on UFC 279, Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. It was recently announced and it should be a fire matchup. It's a catch weight, which I didn't know. I'm not sure that means it's going to be higher or lower, but I guess it's going to be somewhere in the middle of welterweight and middleweight, which might give Kevin Holland a bit of an advantage, but we will get more into that later. Should be a good fight nonetheless. It's a good fight. Kind of saved the card, made this card a lot better in my opinion. This fight, the co-main and the main event, make this card good in my opinion. It's a fine pay-per-view. I get why people are complaining about the price, but overall I think it's a solid pay-per-view. It is. So as always, we're going to be going over the tail of the tape, breaking down some things. There's some interesting things here. I didn't circle stuff, I forgot to. I also forgot to do how to bet on the entire fight, but I'm still going to say it, but I just forgot to do the graphics. So for Kevin Holland, 23-7 with 1 no contest, 16-2 for Daniel Rodriguez. Kevin Holland with the more experienced, the more losses too, but also the more wins, and probably against higher opposition as well. Average fight time is 2 seconds apart. 11 minutes and 12 seconds for Kevin Holland, 11 minutes and 14 seconds for Daniel Rodriguez. Kevin Holland is taller by 2 inches, which will give him an advantage here. It says here they're both the same weight, but I don't know what weight they're going to be fighting at. And Kevin Holland has a massive 6-inch reach advantage here. A 7-inch reach advantage, actually. Kevin Holland has a 7-inch reach advantage here that I think is going to do him wonders. I think that this is going to be what's going to be able to separate him from Daniel Rodriguez in this fight. You know, he's just got to keep that distance. He's struggled a lot in the past to just keep that distance, but what he needs to do here is keep that distance and pick on the outside of Daniel Rodriguez and find the shot. But sometimes he leaps in, but Daniel Rodriguez is not a guy you want to leap in with. He will brawl with you. He will straight up brawl with you. We got Orthodox versus Southpaw. Don't be surprised if Kevin Holland's chipping at the leg of Daniel Rodriguez with his reach. Kevin Holland's also the younger fighter. He's going to be a fresher, younger guy, more active as well, which I'll get into. Strikes landed per minute is way higher from Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel Rodriguez is a much busier fighter. But in saying that, I know it sounds like I'm trying to make every excuse for Kevin Holland in the world, and he is my favourite fighter. I'm going to say it. But I also like Daniel Rodriguez. I'm just saying that Daniel Rodriguez definitely has the advantage in the strikes landed per minute. He's definitely going to be the busier fighter here, and this will pay him well. But on the side of Kevin Holland, he's got the power. He doesn't have to land as much as Daniel. Daniel has decent power. If I had to put it on a power scale, I'd probably put 55%, while Kevin Holland would be like an 80% or something like that. He's got power, but it's not the same type of power Kevin Holland has. 50% accuracy for Daniel Rodriguez, which is really good for the strikes landed per minute, and 54% for Kevin Holland. Strikes absorbed, way higher for Daniel Rodriguez at 5.38. For Kevin Holland, 2.41. But this is also because Daniel Rodriguez is throwing a lot. You know, he gets into firefights. Kevin Holland recently, always sort of, he likes a firefight, but he likes a measured firefight, while Daniel Rodriguez just likes a mad firefight, go in and throw down. Defense, pretty much the same. 55 for Kevin Holland, 57 for Daniel Rodriguez, so there's only 2 difference there, literally 2. So they're both defensive, very, very close on the striking stats, but we could definitely see Daniel Rodriguez being the busier fighter here. But it's going to be hard with that reach. It's going to be hard with that 7-inch reach advantage to get on the inside and get busy. But can he do it? We'll find out. Takedown average is the exact same, 0.84 for both fighters. Takedown accuracy, higher for Daniel Rodriguez at 55. 43% for Kevin Holland. 50% takedown defense for Kevin Holland. 76% for Daniel Rodriguez. 0.6 submission average for Kevin Holland. 0.2 for Daniel Rodriguez. But don't expect this fight to go to the ground. I would be interested if it did, because I feel like Kevin Holland's probably got the better submission, but Daniel Rodriguez has the better grappling, like wrestling type style. You know, he's more about the wrestling. Kevin Holland's more about the submissions. It would be interesting, but if it does go to the ground, I think it's only going to be because one of them gets hurt and they're going to have to die for the legs, or maybe they're in a clinch and one of them just tries for a takedown. But I don't really see him even get into a clinch much, you know. Both of them, Daniel Rodriguez has nice foot movement. He's in and out, circling out, comes in with a flurry, walks his way out. Kevin Holland, on the other hand, is going to be fighting from the outside. Sometimes he does reach in a lot. He did it against Kyle Dorcas, and I was a bit worried because he had a massive reach advantage in that too. Will he do the same here? I do not know. But it would be a smart idea for him to not do that. Then we go, how to bet on Daniel Rodriguez. So first of all, I should just say how I think this fight is going to go. My pick straight up, I'll just give you my pick. I'm going to be transparent. I feel like this is a close fight. 65-35. Probably towards Holland. I think Holland's going to have the speed advantage slightly. I think he does have a massive reach advantage. I feel like he's more diverse in his attacks. Daniel Rodriguez likes to get scrappy, but I feel like if he gets scrappy with Kevin Holland, he's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt. On the other hand, Kevin Holland can't rush in, as I keep saying. He can't rush in. That's my biggest concern in this fight, that he's going to rush in and get clipped or just get brought out by Rodriguez. But first round, I could see Kevin Holland chipping at the leg, fighting from a distance. Daniel Rodriguez having some moments. You know, he gets in there now and then, throws some shots in. Then they break. Repeat. But in the second round, I think Kevin Holland finds his mark, and just like he's done to his last few opponents, I think he gets Daniel Rodriguez out of there in the second round. A straight right, similar to what he did to Tim Means, but I feel like he's going to follow it with ground and pound instead of going for the submission. I really think he's going to hurt him, but Daniel Rodriguez is going to piece him up in the first round a little bit. I feel like the first round's going to be very close, and I feel like the line's going to be pretty much equal at the end of that. Round, I feel like it's going to be a very close first round. Kevin Holland takes a while to get going. Rodriguez doesn't let up that pressure. Could see it being a close first round. It might even go to Daniel Rodriguez, to be completely honest. So yeah, how do we bet on D-Rod? You might be asking. I think he's going to come in as an underdog. No lines have dropped, but I could see him being around the 2.86 mark. Somewhere around there, maybe a bit lower. I don't think he'll be much higher than 2.8. You know, I probably went on the higher side. I could see him being about 2.5, something around that mark. But the lines have not come out yet. But if he's an underdog, I just play his underdog line. You know, I don't see him finishing Kevin Holland. And that's why I've also got D-Rod by points. But I don't see him finishing Kevin Holland. But if you see him finishing Kevin Holland and you're like, well, damn, he might finish him here. Then go the money line just to be safe. If you don't want to leave all options out, you know, want to put all your money on the table, you're confident in Daniel Rodriguez as a fighter, put some money down on his money line. But if you're not so confident and you actually want your money worth out of this and you think, well, D-Rod's probably just going to get it done by decision. Kevin Holland rarely been ever knocked out, I don't think. Let me double check that. Yep, Kevin Holland, never been knocked out besides the headbutt, but even then he got straight back up. He's never been knocked out. I don't see Daniel Rodriguez knocking Kevin Holland out. I could definitely see him hurting him at times, maybe. But Kevin Holland's got pretty good recovery. I see him bouncing out, getting to the distance and finding his shots. But if D-Rod does win, I feel like it's just going to be because of his pressure and Kevin Holland not being able to find that mark and just getting overwhelmed by Daniel Rodriguez boxing and pressure. So yeah, money line or points, I think the points will be paying out about 3.50 if I had to guess. Kevin Holland, if you want to bet on Kevin Holland, I'd be going either his money line, probably be about 1.54, just because I could see Kevin Holland winning by points too, you know, keeping at a distance, hurting Daniel Rodriguez at times but not being able to get it done. Yeah, just picking him apart and outpointing him. But what I'll probably place a little bet on is by TKO KO, because I feel like Kevin Holland's got the power to end this fight. Daniel Rodriguez has never been knocked out just like Kevin Holland, but I feel like if there's going to be a guy to do it, it's going to be Kevin Holland. You know, going over or all the fights so far, Daniel Rodriguez hasn't really fought a guy like Kevin Holland with the power like Kevin Holland. You know, I could see him getting shinned here. I could. And that's why I think Kevin Holland might just get it done by TKO KO here. If I had to pick a round, probably the second, but I wouldn't bank on that because I could easily see it going to a third. I don't think he'll get it in the first. So that's a bet you're thinking of placing. I'd rethink that. Kevin Holland is a little slow in the first. As I said, I could see Daniel Rodriguez winning the first round. And everybody being a bit sweaty. Similar to the Alex Oliveira fight. Alex Oliveira won that first round against Kevin Holland. And it was only in that second round that he could start get going. So I feel like Kevin Holland might get it done by TKO KO, and I feel like that'll be paying out about 3.20. Or if you want to play his money line, be on the safer side, 1.54 is where I think that'll lay. Now, if you want to bet on the overall fight, if you're like, oh, I don't know who to bet on, they're both good picks, but I don't know who to pick. I just want to bet on the fight so I have something to cheer for. I would go over 1.5 rounds. Not over 2.5 because I don't necessarily see it leaving halfway through the third round. But if you have the line for over 1.5, I would take that. I would take it. I'd say it wouldn't be paying the best. 1.20 maybe, something around that line. But I'd be putting that in a parlay, playing that line. I don't think my book will be having that line because it never does. But if you have a better book than me, I'd be playing that down over 1.5 rounds for this fight. Or you could just do fight to start round 2. I might see the price on that. Might put a little bit down on that. I see this fight reaching the second round. Don't see Daniel Rodriguez finishing Kevin Holland in the first round. I don't see Kevin Holland finishing Daniel Rodriguez in the first round. See this making it to the second and possibly halfway through the second. But yeah, that's it for this episode. How to bet both ways on Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. Overall, should be a banger fight. I feel like Daniel Rodriguez is going to be a live dog here. I feel like the odds are going to be pretty close. But I feel like the reach of Kevin Holland and the activity in the youth might be a bit of a problem for Daniel Rodriguez here. But can Daniel Rodriguez boxing heavy pressure style, will it be enough to wilt Kevin Holland? We'll have to see. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, have a good one.